Hello and welcome for this new interview. I'm ComputerFiguur and today I have this guy from the game Gush and he can introduce himself.
Hello guys. My name is Enzo Ayero. I'm one of the developers behind Gush. I'm an indie game developer. Together with the people at Minigun Monkey Games, we did Gush a few months ago. Here I am. Thank you for having me, ComputerFiguur.
And it's not a problem. I like having people. It gives me video content. Is Gush the first game you made?
You could say so. It's not the first game. Actually, I made like a bunch of small ones before that, like either for college or in global game jams. But it would be the first one that we've dedicated like a long time to it and actually published and sold a few copies. Not as many as we would have wanted to, but yeah, it's like the first serious project.
You did game jams before. How did that go?
Awesome. I love them. I recommend them. If you want to get into game development, it's a good way to start. If you want to get an idea of how it is, it's a good way to get that idea. Or if you're already a veteran, it's good to get to know other people, to show your experience, to think a little bit outside of the box. So they're amazing. Either global game ones or I don't know, like Ludum Dares or anything like that. I would suggest doing them.
You also have done gaming in college. You did gaming and education?
Yes. I'm going to the university here in Uruguay. By the way, I'm from Uruguay, South America. I don't know if you know that little country between Argentina and Brazil.
You have a pretty good soccer team. That you know.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. You got us out of the 2010 World Cup. Yeah, I remember that.
No, that was Germany.
No, that was the Netherlands.
We won from you. Okay.
Yeah, exactly on the semifinal. Well, so then. Yes, I'm from Uruguay and I'm doing a bachelor degree there. Not finished yet, just taking my time with that. But yes, getting some education in game design.
So you're doing education for game science. Why did you choose to do that, and why not learning all on your own?
I don't know really. At the time, it was like the way to get into game development. I don't know. I thought about learning myself. I ended up doing like most of the I ended up learning most of the stuff I know for making games on my own. With Game Maker and how to promote and everything like that. But yeah, the initial parts about animation, game design, and all that, I learned from school, and it was pretty worth it. It gives you a different view on projects. Even though, like making game itself, you will have to learn that on your own, and you will have to perfect that on your own. It's good to get like the formal education and that, because it's gonna help you with how to get an idea on managing a project and all that. So it was good for me. It still is.
For what platforms have you developed Gush?
For what platform? Now it's only for Windows, but we are working very slowly on a sequel, something like a Super Gush maybe. The idea for that is maybe start by doing like a demo in for web, like in HTML5, and then do it for Windows and Mac as well, using Game Maker.
Why did you choose Game Maker to make your game with?
Well, I was doing a game a few years ago for college. We were paired up with people like the art and design side was being paired up with the engineering side. We pitched an idea. None of the engineers was on board with it. I don't know if it was hard or they weren't interested or what. So ended up learning how to code on Game Maker, and I got used to it. I mean, I can do prototypes really fast. All the games I like, or I mean, the ones I'm aiming for are done in Game Maker. So I said, okay, Game Maker it is. It's kind of troublesome sometimes when porting stuff for different platforms. So that's pretty much the main reason why Gush is only available for Windows. But yeah, definitely Game Maker, it's like a really good tool for a game like Gush.
What do you think of each platform?
What do I think of them? Well, one thing I've noticed is that the less steps you have to take between the user and the game, all the best. You know, if you're able to have a game that it's right there on the browser, you're gonna get a lot more people than the ones that would have to download it. If it's for phone, you're gonna get a lot of people because they just need to click a link from Twitter or whatever, and they will be right at the game. So, if you can go ahead and get rid of all the steps, that would be great. But the thing is, I like computer games, you know, like or maybe console ones. But I think I'm not still. We are still not ready to start doing for Xbox or PlayStation or something like that. But for now, for the time being, like Windows with gamepad support, that's like the kind of games I prefer and the ones I prefer doing. So yeah, that's probably the main reason why we developed something for Windows. Maybe now from a sales point of view, we'll decide to switch to a different platform. But yeah, Windows games are for me the best ones. So that's what I prefer doing.
Why didn't you choose to put your game on Steam? Because it's on itch.
Yeah, why? Well, I was exploring a little bit. Read a little bit about each, and I really liked the mindset behind that. You know, like the supporting indies and making it available for people. And I thought, well, we don't have a reputation yet. We had a publisher at the moment that just then backed off the contract, so that kind of sucked. I'm not gonna say the publisher's name, but yeah, it wasn't a good experience. And at that time we were developing for Steam. But then the production changed. We didn't have a publisher anymore, and we were saying, okay, let's try this thing itch. We tried it. Like the numbers weren't really good. I wouldn't recommend itch nowadays. Maybe in the future. And I mean, I hope it takes off, and I hope that people that publish on itch have success from it. But at the time being, it's not ready to offer like a really good selling platform. So we did it on itch as a way to test the game to see how viable it was as a commercial product, and it really wasn't. I mean, the game itself is good. It needs some polishing. I mean, I love it. Like, for me, it was like a really, besides trying to get money out of it, it was like a real passion project. But when it comes to distribution, it didn't go really well. So before going ahead and doing it for Steam, we said, okay, there's some stuff we need to change, some stuff we need to add to actually make it successful on Steam. So instead of going ahead and doing each and then immediately go shoot for Steam like a full release, trying to skip the early access, we said, okay, now let's work on a sequel before doing that. Try to get some reputation out of Gush, making people try it for free. If they like it and they decide to give us a few bucks as a support, that would be awesome. But yeah, trying to get the idea for the IP out there. Once we have a sequel, shoot for the stars on Steam and everything. Um, like as I said before, since we thought, okay, most of the sales we are gonna get are gonna come from us, from our distribution efforts. It's gonna be the same if it's on Steam or if it's on itch. So we tried that. I think we were mistaken. I think the way to go would be Steam or maybe another platform. I don't know. Maybe let's see what happens with Facebook Game Boom. Could be like a way to try to see a different market that is not so saturated nowadays.
Yeah, on Steam there's like 20 games a day that release, so that's really hard to get between and sell.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How many people in total have worked on Gush?
Well, in total 4, but that's including an artist that was with us for a little while and then decided to leave the project. So it's 3. Me designing, programming, and producing, and a musician doing all the music and sound effects, and an artist doing the animation and most of the 3D art for the game.
What has been the biggest challenge in producing Gush?
The biggest challenge, I'd say, it's not so much with making the game itself. It was getting all the team working and keeping motivation and avoiding burnout. Because we did this project with no budget. Something I wish to avoid in the future. I mean, it was like, it was the first real project, so we wanted to get it done, to get something published, something that we are proud of. But nowadays I would say, okay, now if I'm gonna step into something big, I'm going to need to have some budget for it. So that was hard, trying to say, okay, let's keep putting effort into it. Is it gonna be really worth it? Is it not? So keeping motivated and knowing that you need to finish the game and that you need to ship it someday, that's the biggest challenge, I'd say. But besides that, testing, making sure that that your idea of the game is not biased, because after a while, when you're working on a project that you love, you're gonna sometimes either or see all the flaws in the game or none of them. It's because if you're like a little bit low at the time, you're gonna say, oh, this sucks, who's gonna like this game is awful, everyone's gonna hate it. And then you give it to someone who has never tried it and say, dude, this game is amazing, I love it, I've been playing like 2 hours straight, blah blah blah, etc etc. And you're okay, good, that's great, and you start to see that game once in a new light, and that's awesome. And also, if you're like really engaged, you've been doing that game for a while, you're working on something else, and you got used to the controls, and you think, oh yeah, these controls handle perfectly, I want to go there, I go there. But that's like because you're used to it. So sometimes when you show it to someone else, it's gonna say, dude, this control sucks. So it's that's hard, like not being biased by the product you've been producing for a long time also.
Did you get any help from the industry to develop and promote Gush?
I don't know. Yes, we had some help testing and getting like feedback and ideas and pointers on how to to do something like, yeah, you should try this, you should do that, but like real actual help, like, yes, contact this publisher, or yes, I'm gonna give you some space here. Not so many, not so much. You know, I got some YouTubers that was awesome. Like this, the support from YouTubers was amazing. You guys rock. I have to admit that. Um, and also some there was there were a few other developers that were really helpful, but yeah, not so much, I would say. I wish we had some more, but I mean, but yeah, we didn't really ask for that much help either. You know, I mean, it's also a little bit on us. If it would have been a little bit more open about the help needed, we might have gotten more.
You made this game like with 3 people, and then you started to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you choose to take like a PR company or marketing thing or anything?
Well, we had well, at the beginning, I did this game on my own only. I mean, it was just me, art, sound, programming, and designing. So then I uploaded it to GameJolt, and it was kind of successful. You know, like a really early alpha of the game. It was just one level with crappy retro graphics, and it had some sort of success. It was like the hottest game for like 24 hours, and it was like in the best of the week for that week. So we ended up being reached. We were contacted by a publisher, and at that time, well, I was contacted by a publisher. So at that time, I said, okay, maybe this is serious. I should get some other people. We discussed shares on the game, and we started developing with that publisher. Then two things happened. We were a bit behind schedule. I had to admit that, and also the publisher got like a hit with another game, and they say, okay, from now on we only want to do big games. So I'm sorry, guys, you're cut. We were like a bit low after that. You know, that was a bit depressing, and we didn't really know what to do after that. We tried looking for a publisher for a little while. We were like, well, you know, okay, let's just get it out. Let's just finish it, and we'll see what happens with a sequel or another game. So that was basically it. So the development team ended up there after publishing. We did some updates and all that, and said, okay, if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna keep working on this, gonna have to be for a sequel. And if we get like, you know, enough momentum for it, you know, if we see that there is interest for the game to keep developing, we will work on a sequel. And if not, we'll just keep on doing some more games. I mean, if it doesn't succeed, try again. Fail faster.
Did you notice the decline for making money for indie games in the industry?
Sorry, could you please repeat that?
Did you notice the decline for making money for indie games in the industry?
Oh yes. I mean, I cannot say I noticed a decline, because this was our first commercial project. So I don't have a point of comparison from a previous project to say, yes, there was a decline. But what I can say is, yes, it's hard. And I've also seen some colleagues that are saying like, whoa, what's happening? You know, like, especially with the green light, people that were getting greenlit immediately were having issues now, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of tough. I'm personally doing like some other projects, stuff that is not that risky, and also doing freelancing jobs to get money to to make the next game. And well, it's important to know that what you're gonna do, it's viable as a commercial product, you know, because it's not make a good game and that's gonna be it. You're gonna get money if you make a good game. It's not all about that. People are expecting for stuff that has to be there in order to make you know, to get money out of it. Just like, unless you are a company with a good reputation, like, I don't know, let's say, let's take an example. For example, Vlambeer, they did Nuclear Throne, an amazing game, and they were successful. They were gonna be anyways because it's an amazing game and they already have a reputation. But what I'm saying is they ended up getting a mod for the online co-op. Someone did that because the game was great and they already had the user base. But if you're unknown and you make a game that has no online co-op, it's gonna be hard to get people to notice you, you know? I'm not saying that, yeah, if you add online co-op, you're gonna be so successful. If you don't have it, you're gonna end up being a failure. Now, it's not as easy as that. But I mean, you have to have a lot of stuff in consideration if you want to get your first game, your first hit game. So, for example, I have some other colleagues that made a game that is amazing, but online is a bit flunky because they don't have user base. So you just go ahead and log into the game and wait there for a game to create, and it's impossible unless you have already arranged with some friends that you're gonna play. It's impossible because there is no user base. So you have to consider all of that before making a game that's gonna be successful in a way. So yeah, it's like so many people nowadays know how to make games, which is awesome. But it's also creating like a saturation of the market. So you have to have like a really good game with a lot of features that will help you get some more permanence of the user, and also well, I got a little bit stuck there. But you have to have a way to keep your users interested. And at the same time, you have to be able to get because there are like a ton of games being published every day, so you have to do a lot of events, moving around, getting contact from people. So yeah, it's tough in the market now.
How long did it take to create Gush?
I would say, I mean, it wasn't like all the time working on the project. Started on September 2015. It was published on December 1st, 2016. I would say the last update was around mid-January 2017. So yeah, pretty much about that. But it wasn't like full-time development.
So you did other jobs during the development?
Yeah. I mean, like I had like a regular day job at the time. Then I also went studying in Europe, in Poland, for my Erasmus. So yeah, that also took some time. But anyways, was like all the time adding some assets and resources for the game. And the other two developers were also working on their day job. So this was like a side project. If we were developing full time, I'd say it would have taken like 4 months to do, but it took us over a year.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, the game has it can technically be beaten in 4.5 minutes, but I doubt you would be able to do it because it's a roguelike game. so it's not gonna happen. The procedural code behind it really helped us make the game faster and to add content to it, because in order or in the way the game is designed, you need to unlock some of the weapons. I mean, you don't need to. You can beat the game with just the pistol, the initial weapon, but it's gonna be super hard for you to do it. So you're gonna have to play the game a little bit, unlock some weapons. Also, you're gonna have to try to know how to use all the different options that the game creates. So, for example, I don't know if you played Super Hexagon, but you have to you should. It's an amazing game. I'd say all of Terry Kavanagh's games are amazing, but well, the thing is that that game can technically be also beaten in a few minutes. But the thing is that you have to kind of learn how the puzzles go, memorize them, be able to solve them on your own fast. You know, you have to get practice on it. You have to evolve as a player, level up as a player, not as a character.
So the game can technically be beaten really fast, but normally it will take a lot longer because you have to learn how it works.
Yeah, it depends on the player. I mean, the tester we had, like the fastest one was able to beat it in like an hour and a half, but the rest of the people took around 3 to 4 hours. Some other took some more time, but it's around 3 to 4 hours to finish it. And after that, you can keep on playing because it's every playthrough is different. You know, it's I mean, I kind of did it like because I want to play my own game, and if it's always the same game, I would get really bored of it. So it's the game creates like a series of platforms that are created procedurally as you play. So every time it's gonna be different. It all depends on the weapon you have. If you want to get the best score, you're going to have to pick up different weapons, and each different weapon is going to be a different way to play. So even if you have defeated the game, you can just keep on playing because it's going to be a different station and different playthrough. I mean, it's you can only jump and shoot in the game. Jump, shoot, and move, and also destroy the blocks. So it's not, you're not gonna be playing the same way if you're playing with a machine gun, or if you're playing with a boomerang. If you're playing with a boomerang, you're gonna move a lot more. If you're playing with a minigun, you're just gonna shoot and avoid destroying the platform you're standing on. So it's like, even though it's only 4 minutes of content on the game, it can give you like a lot of hours. I myself have played it like, I don't know, like, I guess 100 hours, but that's me. That's the creator, so I wouldn't expect the same from every user, but at least like 3 or 4 hours, but it's gonna be good for you.
Okay, awesome. Well, you made this game like a roguelike game. Why did you choose to make this type of game?
Because, well, initially, to be honest, I was playing a lot of Super Great Blocks at the time. It was weird because I also had met Rami Ismail at the time. He came to Uruguay for a conference here. We were talking a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, I should play Super Great Blocks again. I was playing a lot of that game at the time, and I was thinking, oh man, this game is great. What would happen if you did like auto runner, but going up? So that was like the main idea. So I thought, okay, which games do you go up in a way? So I started playing Ice Climbers, so it's kind of a mixture of that. And I ended up having a game where you should jump and shoot while the stage is being created vertically. And also you can destroy the platforms as you would do in Ice Climbers. So I had that, and I was thinking, okay, so I have this game that every time you play is different. So that's like the basis of a roguelike in a way. What can I do to actually have the player learn how to play and not just react? So I ended up adding more weapons that work differently, like with a completely different usage for each of them. And then there was the idea of, okay, I'm gonna get this. We were thinking about getting it on Steam, get it. Yeah, sorry, my English is not my first language. Getting it in Steam. So at the time I was thinking, okay, so Steam, this game could potentially be really short, and people were playing it for like half an hour and they beated it. Maybe they would get like refund or something. So okay, we had to give people more content. So ended up adding some more levels. In order to get the levels, you have to unlock them. More weapons. In order to get the weapons, you would have to unlock them as you progress and as you accumulate score and experience. So that ended up becoming a roguelike.
Awesome. What type of games do you play in free time?
I would say like strategy management games or arcade or roguelikes. You know, I like either to be able to sit down, have a coffee, look at the screen, super relaxed, making decisions of what I'm going to do next, and trying to like min-maxing, getting the best effect for every decision I make. You can add, you know, like Crusader Kings, Civilization, Mountain Blade wouldn't not that much strategy because it also has like a lot of fighting, but it also has the strategy side of it when you're positioning your army. Or I would go like the whole opposite. I want to react fast. I don't want to think. I want to just like be the game. And that happens with games like, I don't know, Super Crate Box, Nuclear Throne, DDDD, Super Meat Boy. I don't know, you know, indie games mostly, and the ones with a lot of game feel.
That was also my last question. Do you have anything else you want to say?
What can I say? Okay, I don't know. If you like playing games, play my games. If you like making games, keep making them. Keep iterating. Try to see what's good with them, what's bad about them. Keep working on it. Show your games to people. Listen to the feedback, but also remain true to what you were thinking initially on your games and fail faster.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your time as well. Hope you like Gush.
I think so.
Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.